All right, everyone, brace yourselves because CNN's Caitlin Collins has stepped into a challenging position, and Caroline Leavitt is the one making the calls.
The president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch
What was meant to be just another regular White House press briefing quickly turned into something entirely surprising. Kaitlin thought she had a perfect gotcha moment, but it backfired severely. She attempted to trap Caroline with a tough question, hoping for a mistake. But instead, Caroline completely shut her down, reversing the situation and making Kaitlin seem like an amateur. And the most unbelievable part? It all happened live, with no edits, no spin, just raw, unfiltered chaos. And believe me, CNN didn't want you to see this. The moment the clip hit the internet, viewers began tearing into Kaitlin, questioning CNN's credibility, and even doubting if she's right for the role. But don't just take my word for it. We've got the full breakdown ahead. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe for more unfiltered, drama-filled updates. Did you subscribe? Great. Let's get started.
One, on the freeze in federal funding, who advised the president on the legality of telling government agencies that they don't have to spend money that was already appropriated by Congress?
Well, as the OMB memo states, this is certainly within the confines of the law. So White House counsel's office believes that this is within the president's power to do it, and therefore he's doing it.
Okay, so they disagree with lawmakers who say that they don't have the power to freeze this funding.
Again, I would point you to the language in the memo that clearly states this is within the law.
And all that happened on Friday night. The administration fired several inspectors general without giving Congress the 30-day legally required notification that they were being fired. I think only 2 were left at DHS and the DOJ. And then yesterday we saw several prosecutors, I believe 12, fired from the Justice Department who worked on the investigations into the president. As you know, they are career prosecutors, therefore they are afforded civil service protections. How is the administration deciding which laws to follow and which ones to ignore?
So it is the belief of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes to. There's also a case that went before the Supreme Court in 2020, Scala Law LLC versus the Customs, Bureau Protection. I would advise you to look at that case, and that's the legality that this White House was resting on.
So you're confident that if they bring lawsuits against you, those prosecutors who were fired, that they will succeed?
We will win in court,
And
yes.
Did he personally direct this, given they worked on the classified documents investigation and the election interference investigation?
This was a memo that went out by the Presidential Personnel Office, and the president is the leader of this White House. So yes. Yes,
Caroline is here.
Let's set the scene. CNN's Caitlin Collins, who clearly believes she can take on conservatives, thought she could trap Caroline Leavitt with a smug, pre-planned attack. However, that was a huge mistake. Caroline didn't hesitate for a second. She immediately shut it down, hitting Caitlin with irrefutable facts.
The fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to one of the worst mass in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political that has led to 2 heinous attempts on President Trump's life that, by the grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political because he's experienced it himself. And talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father Dick Cheney have got this country into is not political. It's talking about the reality of the foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans to.
Boom. Caitlin Collins is left stumbling over her words, and the press room goes completely still. You could hear a pin drop. At this point, Caitlin realizes she's been outplayed. Caroline lets out a soft laugh because, honestly, this was far too easy. The panic in Caitlin's eyes is evident. She wasn't in the slightest bit prepared for such solid evidence.
Oh, please, his opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those 2 attempts. The second attempted on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie, and yes, you will take political like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was an That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I'm so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016, because people...
The internet went wild, with hashtags trending almost instantly. Caroline owns CNN. Kaitlin Collins humiliated. Fake news CNN. And things are spiraling even further for Kaitlin. By now, CNN is in full damage control mode. They realize how bad. This looks truly awful. Viewers are flooding social media with clips of Caroline's perfect takedown, casting serious doubt on Kaitlin's credibility. And CNN's reaction? Full panic. They begin quietly taking down clips from their platforms. Their fact-checkers scramble to revise the story, trying to change the narrative. Anything to cover up the embarrassment. But it's too late. Conservatives are jumping on this opportunity. Even liberals can't help but shake their heads, admitting Kaitlin walked right into a trap. The irony is thick. CNN tried to make Caroline look unprepared, but instead, they exposed their own incompetence. And just when you think it couldn't get worse for Kaitlin, oh, it does.
Because there is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration. As far as the egg shortage, what's also contributing to that is that the Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage. So I will leave you with this point. This is an example of why it's so incredibly important that the Senate moves swiftly to confirm all of President Trump's nominees, including his nominee for the United States Department of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, who is already speaking with Kevin Hassett, who's leading the economic team here at the White House, on how we can address the egg shortage in this country. As for costs, I laid out the plethora of ways that President Trump has addressed saving costs for the American people over the past week. He looks forward to continuing doing that.
Seriously? That's the best they've got? Caroline doesn't budge and fires back with a response that leaves everyone speechless. Game over. Even CNN's own viewers aren't buying the spin. One Twitter user nails it. Imagine getting embarrassed this badly in front of the whole country. Caroline just ended Kaitlin's career in under 3 minutes. At this point, even CNN's producers are facepalming. Kaitlin tried everything and failed miserably. And just when she thought it couldn't get worse, oh, it does. This isn't just about one embarrassing moment for Kaitlin Collins. It's about something much bigger, the continuing erosion of the media's credibility with the American public. They target conservatives, assuming we'll back down, but Caroline Leavitt just proved we won't be intimidated. They twist the eye, facts and manipulate narratives, but America is done tolerating their lies. They behave as if they're the smartest in the room, yet Caroline revealed how easily they fall apart when confronted with the truth. Now CNN is in a scramble, desperately trying to save face. Kaitlin has been humiliated, while Caroline? She's gaining more respect than ever. So, here's the crucial question. Will CNN learn from this, or will they double down on their flawed tactics and continue to lose credibility? Whatever happens from here, Caroline Leavitt has established a new benchmark. And for CNN, that's a nightmare they won't escape anytime soon. Now it's your turn, folks. Did Caroline just deliver the most brutal takedown of the year? Did Kaitlin expose CNN's desperation? And do you believe mainstream media can ever regain its credibility? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss another epic takedown. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.